announced by your chair a total payout of in excess of about $300,000 being given out as bonus. All of you will receive at least $1,000. But more importantly, this of course is the second time in 1 year that you're being paid 2 bonuses. Now, those of you who've been here in the port system for quite some time, this of course is very unusual. It also happened last year, and it also is happening again this year. But I know before it never used to happen. In the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, it did not happen. The reason why this is happening, ladies and gentlemen, is because we now have a modern approach to management and running an entity such as Fiji Ports. It is very critical, again, like I mentioned to you the last time, for all of us to be able to understand that the port plays a very critical role in respect of our economy. Many of the goods and services that you use yourself, for your family members, that we use in other construction and various other places, everyday users, comes through the port system. Now, in order for that to come through the port system, in order for the goods to come through the port in Suva and then go to the other Pacific Island countries, we have to ensure the port is very efficient. We have to ensure that the port runs well. We have to ensure that there's new modern technology being used in the port itself. So all of this combined and with the proper management, we will not only be able to make Suva and Lautoka and the other ports run by Fiji Ports attractive for other shipping companies, but it also means that the company is able to invest more into the port to make it even more attractive. So we have by this month, or at least at the latest by January, the 3 cranes that you have, 2 of them will of course move fully to Fiji Ports Terminal. They'll need to take full carriage of those 2 cranes. And also, as the chairman has announced, we've also got new investment being made into the port itself. I was told that at least 30 of you have already been to the port of Napier for training. Now, this level of exposure and ideas, exposure to ideas and management systems is very important for you to be able to understand as to how we should benchmark ourselves. So the more improvements we bring, more technology we bring, new way of thinking we bring, your port becomes a lot more attractive, a lot more traffic comes through, and then of course we're able to make bigger profits, invest more, and be able to pay you more, give you more bonuses. That's how the system works. And that's what we must continue to focus on. Overall, of course, when the economy grows, we're able to provide better services. As I mentioned this to you in the past, things like free education, things like free medicine, subsidized bus fares, textbooks, all of that government is able to do because the revenue being generated is very, very important for us, and it's also, of course, increasing. What also is very important for us to understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that the economy that we have is growing at a very rapid rate. I just came from a function prior to coming here at ANZ, where now they're looking at what we call electronic transactions on a much bigger scale. And I'll explain to you how it works. So, for example, those of you who get salaries paid into your accounts, into your bank accounts, what the banks now do, what government is even doing now, when we pay our salaries, we simply go on the internet, on the platform, on the computer, and we make a transaction to ANZ and say this is where all the monies need to be paid, and it happens in a matter of few minutes. What that does, it makes the system efficient. What that does, it reduces the number of people that go and queue up. You get the money in your account, there's proper accountability, there's transparency, we know exactly how much money is being paid. When the auditor comes, we know exactly how much money was paid to who. But it creates efficiency. Now, ANZ has also just announced that they've got this now new initiative that if you pay only 20 cents a day, you will be able to use the ATM machines, the POS machines, regardless of how many transactions you do. If you want to do 50 transactions in a month, you still only pay 20 cents a day. So what that means, you have to carry less money on you. Whenever you need the money, it's easy for you to go and take it out of the machine. You go to the supermarket, you pay for your transaction. Your wife wants to do a transaction, she doesn't need you to physically give her the money. She can use the card when she goes to the supermarket, or your husband, whoever is going to do the transaction. What this does, it makes it easier for you, makes your life easier, you don't have to queue up. It also means that it makes Fiji a lot more attractive. To make Fiji attractive, we have to ensure that we have modern technology everywhere. In the same way we have e-ticketing. At the click of a button, Fiji Revenue and Customs Services knows exactly now how much each bus company is making in a day. They know, for example, how many people got on the bus in Cunningham, how many people got on the bus in Nandera. They will know exactly whether there's 70 kids hanging out of a bus in a 50-seat bus. So they said, no, we need more buses there. It's what we call economic planning, strategic planning. We also know that people can no longer butako from the system. People can no longer steal from the system. It creates proper accountability. So what we need to do, we all need to understand that all of us fit in like a jigsaw puzzle. We all need to do our part, and we can have more of what we are having today. Because if everybody knows exactly where the role fits in, then we are able to do a lot better as a country. Last but not least, I'd like to also make a point that in all of this, we need to ensure that we have continuity. We can't chop and change things every year, every 2 years, every 3 years, every 4 years. Those of you, for example, who look up to countries like Australia, if you look at how Australia became really wealthy, in particular after World War II, when they did huge levels of investment in the infrastructure, you had one government that stayed in power for 20 years, the Menzies government. It's not the government itself, but it's the way of thinking. You need to have consistency to be able to ensure that people feel confident. We have some business partners that have joined forces, Aitken Spence. Why have they come to Fiji? Because they feel confident that the system and the policy will continue. So all of us need to understand that we need to have systems that will continue to be in place. That way of thinking will continue to be in place. Then you get a lot better investment. I was actually, a few months ago, we had this march that was in the streets of Suva. And some of your fellow people from Lautoka came in the uniforms, and they were marching through the streets of streets of Suva. I found out subsequently that some of them had been paid money to actually come to Suva to march. I found out that some of them were told that we'll give you money, we'll give you the money to come over, we'll give you some meal money, but make sure you wear your uniforms. What was really ironic about it was that a couple of days later, I was down in Fiji Ports Terminal Limited, Fiji Ports Corporation Limited, where giving them bonus. You see, you have to understand that the old way of doing things, the idea of always having a fight with your management, having a fight with the company, having a fight with the government is the old way of thinking. We need to be able to understand that we need to work as a team. If we work as a team, everybody benefits. Today you are benefiting. Why? Because we have a good management system in place. Because government thought about how we can improve this area. If we are able to get the right people, we can expand the port, it creates more jobs. It also ensures that your jobs have durability and continue to be in place. It also means that we get better working terms and conditions. So you need to be able to understand that there will be many people who try and take advantage of you. The elections are going to happen next year. I'm not here to do an election campaign, but I want to be able to tell you that you as individuals need to be smart about when people come and talk to you. You need to be able to understand as an individual that for you to be able to have continuity of jobs, creation of more jobs, getting bonuses, getting wages conditions being improved, getting new technology being put in place, you need to be able to have consistency in policies. That is very, very important. And when we look at policies, the choice is yours. When you look at policies, you need to look at not only one thing. You can't say, well, I've got bonuses twice, but I need bonuses again 4 times in a year. But you need to be able to look at other things. How are the roads? How are the bridges? How's the education system? How's the medical system? You need to look at holistically. How are we providing things for people in the maritime areas? People who live in deep rural areas. So you need to be able to understand the economics of it. The economy is very important, ladies and gentlemen. If we have a strong economy, everybody benefits. If the economy is consistent, the policies are consistent, we need to be able to, then we can have a lot more growth. Growth is very, very important. Today, the unemployment rate in Fiji is the lowest it's been for the past 15 years, 5.5%. But of course, at the same time, there's a higher percentage of what we call youth unemployment. So we need to be able to create more jobs for the youth. A lot more people are now today in universities. There's about 16,000 students attending university or technical colleges. And all of them are being assisted, either through a scholarship or the tertiary education loan scheme. So it is a good future for them, but we also need to ensure that the economy grows, so when they come out of university, we have jobs ready for them. And that is very, very important for us to be able to understand. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take this opportunity, given the fact that it's coming to the end of the financial year, to thank your chairman of your board. As you know, the chairman of your board has got a full-time job. He's the CEO of FEA. And that in itself is a job and a half. We're getting now more electricity connections than ever before, and he's responsible for that. We, of course, can give the money, but they have to make sure it actually happens. So I'd like to thank you for taking out this time and sitting on the board, and as chairman, looking after equally a far important infrastructure, which is the ports. I'd also like to thank your management team. They, of course, have come in here, they've created an environment, they've created obviously a lot better salubrious environment, to be able to ensure that today we're able to get you bonuses, that we have improvement in the management systems. And everybody else, all of you, without you this is not possible. If it wasn't for you, we won't be able to give out a bonus because you are the guys who actually do the work too. Your management team, people you report to, is like I said, it's always a team effort. The example that I've given, you know, sometimes in government, I've seen in certain ministries, people complain about the drivers. You know, the drivers aren't doing this, doing that. But the day that the driver does not come to work, everybody says, oh, the driver is not at work. They can't do without the drivers. My point being is that everybody is important. Whether you're a minister, whether you're a permanent secretary, whether you're the tea lady, whether you're the driver, everybody is important. Because we all need to work as a team. Everybody has a role to play. If everybody does their role well, everybody will do well. The same way that I've been going to the schools. We sometimes forget the fact that the teachers are so important. You leave your kids in the school at 8 o'clock in the morning and 7 o'clock in the morning, and they get picked up at 3:30 or 4 o'clock. For nearly 8 to 10 hours, you don't see your children. So they're being influenced by the teachers. So those teachers will actually ensure, or will actually influence what your children will be like when they grow up as adults. So they play a very critical role. This is why the education system is very important. We've spent nearly $1 billion in this year's budget simply for the education system. Why? Because 69.4% of the entire Fijian population is below the age of 40. Below the age of 40, nearly 70%. So we have to make sure we give them a solid foundation. We need to educate them well. We need to ensure that they have a better future ahead. And all of us need to be able to do that if all of us work as a team. So Vinakavakalevu, once again, for your effort. Thank you for this effort, and I look forward, of course, to coming again next year to see that you get a bigger bonus. But at the same time, I think it's very important that you work very well with your management. We need to adopt new technology, new machinery to continue to make Fiji attractive. The Honorable Prime Minister led the delegation in Bonn in Germany. The level of publicity, the level of exposure that Fiji received was phenomenal. Money cannot buy that kind of exposure. But it's not just the exposure. It's the level of connectivities we've been able to develop. So many organizations, international organizations, NGOs, are now looking at basing themselves in Fiji to be able to serve the rest of the Pacific Islands. What does that mean? It means that we need to ensure we have good airline connectivity, we have good port facilities, so they'll feel a lot more confident, a lot more people come to Fiji. When they come to Fiji, they spend their money. When they spend their money, they pay VAT. They create employment. They may go and rent a house. When they rent a house, they may hire somebody to work at the house. They may hire a driver. They go and eat at the restaurant. They spend their money, and that creates more wealth for us. This is why poverty levels in Fiji is reducing. So we need to be able to understand that all of us play a very critical role in all of this. So, of course, things like climate change is very, very important for us. We've already moved 3 villages to higher grounds. We've got another 42 to 43 villages that need to be moved to higher ground because all the water is coming to the villages. So all of these things we need to be able to ensure that if we work together, we need to be able to look after our fellow Fijians who need attention. Next month we are launching the digital platform for television. So all of you will be able to watch at least 5 or 6 free-to-air television channels. But very importantly, people in southern Laos, people in Rotuma, people in Dikombia, people in Lomaipiti, down in Kandavu, in the interior of Natasiri, everybody will be able to watch the free-to-air television. Because we are using new technology, we're using satellites, all you need is a dish. So there's a lot of wonderful things happening. You need to be aware of what is happening around you, and in that way, of course, we can make a lot better Fiji and improve all of our living conditions. And I wish you a good day. Thank you.